I'm going to present the findings of the research conducted to assess the association between household food security status and overnutrition in early adolescence in the city of Colombo, Sri Lanka. Let's move to the introduction. The worldwide epidemic of overnutrition among adolescents is rising steeply. In Sri Lankan context, the prevalence of overnutrition in adolescents is in upward trend during the past decade, with the highest prevalence was reported among 11 to 13-year adolescents. Further, the highest prevalence of overnutrition among 11 to 13-year adolescents was reported in the city of Colombo, with coexistence of high rate of undernutrition. Despite of rising overnutrition, food insecurity remains a leading public health problem in both developing and developed countries. In Sri Lanka, food security status has not achieved better progress so far, as Global Hunger Index ranks Sri Lanka as the 66th country with 17.1 score, indicating moderate level of hunger. According to insurance hypothesis, function of storing fat is to provide a buffer against shortfall in the food supply, and thus individuals should store more fat when they receive cues that access to food is uncertain. Applied to humans, this implies that an important proximate driver of obesity should be food insecurity rather than food abundance per se. Therefore, we wanted to investigate whether this high prevalence of overnutrition among early adolescents in the city of Colombo could be due to food insecurity rather than food abundance per se. We wanted to use USDA 18-item Household Food Security Hunger Survey module to assess the food security status of the subjects, as it is the new, valid and reliable population estimate of food insecurity, which provides information on actual experiences associated with food insecurity. Further, it directly measures food access and reflects short-term fluctuation in economic and social conditions. We decided to go for waist to height ratio in addition to BMI, as BMI alone cannot distinguish excess body fat in high muscle mass individuals, as well as waist to height ratio is a measure of central adiposity in children and adolescents, which identifies individuals with increased cardiometabolic risk. Let's move to the objectives. Our general objective was to investigate the association between household food security status and overnutrition in early adolescence in the city of Colombo, Sri Lanka by gender. Meanwhile, we wanted to assess the prevalence of household food security status as well as prevalence of overnutrition among 11 to 13-year adolescents in the city of Colombo. Let's move to the methodology. This is a cross-sectional study conducted using school children who were aged 11 to 13 years in the city of Colombo. Our study sites were randomly selected 12 national and provincial schools in the city of Colombo. A total of 634 subjects were recruited using multi-stage stratified cluster sampling technique and proportionate sampling, where 3 strata were administrative district, school type and school category. This figure shows number of subjects was drawn from each administrative district to the sample. Data collection. Household food security status during past 12-month period was gathered using USDA 18-item Household Food Security Hunger Survey module. Anthropometric data on height, weight and waist circumference were measured according to standard procedures, and level of physical activity during past 7 days was collected using a PAXI questionnaire. Daily energy consumption. A 3-day diet diary was used to collect daily energy intake in 3 consecutive days. Socio-demographic data on ethnicity, household monthly income, family size, level of education of parents, and parental occupation were gathered using a general questionnaire. Birth rate was extracted from child health development record and pubertal stage was determined using the Tanner stage. Data analysis, we decided to use two indices to assess the overnutrition status, that is BMI for age and waist to height ratio. BMI for age was determined using age and sex-specific WHO BMI for age growth charts developed for 5 to 19 years in Sri Lanka. These BMI for age cutoff values was used to categorize subjects into wasting, normal weight, overweight and obese categories. WHO Anthroplus software was used to convert BMI for age into BMI for age Z score in order to utilize them in finding out the association between household food security status and overnutrition. If the waist to height ratio equal or greater than 0.5, subjects were classified as central obesity present. Household food security status was categorized into four levels as food secure, food insecure without hunger, food insecure with moderate hunger, and food insecure with severe hunger. Based on the summation of number of affirmative responses were collected for the USDA 18-item questionnaire. Meanwhile, household food security score was converted to a continuous scale of 0 to 10. All the statistical analyses were conducted using SPSS version 21. Partial correlation between household food security score as well as BMI for age Z score and household food security score and waist to height ratio were analyzed after removing the confounding effect of daily energy intake, level of physical activity, pubertal stage, birth weight and age. 6 models were developed by adding these confounding factors, where model 1 was not adjusted for any of the confounding factors, whereas model 6 was adjusted for daily energy consumption, level of physical activity, pubertal stage, birth weight and age. Other models were developed by adding these confounding factors one by one. Let's move to the most important part of our study, that is results. First, we look at the socio-demographic characteristics of the subjects. Majority of boys were Sinhalese, whereas majority of girls were Muslims. Majority of subjects had 5 to 8 members in the family, household living area below 126.46 square meters, and household monthly income between 140 to 280 US dollars. When considering the level of education of parents, majority of mothers of boys had educated up to advanced level. In contrast, majority of mothers of girls had educated only up to grade 6 to 10. Majority of fathers of boys had either diploma or degree, whereas majority of fathers of girls had educated up to ordinary level. When considering the occupation of parents, majority of mothers of subjects were unemployed, whereas majority of fathers of subjects were self-employed. Now we look at the anthropometric characteristics of the subjects. The waist circumference of boys was slightly wider than that of the girls, and there was no significant gender difference was observed in either height, weight or body mass index. Let's look at the household food security status of the subjects. Majority of subjects were food secure and prevalence of food insecurity was 39.2%, including 26.8% food insecure with hunger, 9.7% food insecure with moderate hunger, and 2.7% food insecure with severe hunger. Mean household food security score of the study cohort was 2.95, which indicates subjects were food insecure without hunger. Nutritional status of the subjects. The prevalence of overnutrition as measured by overweight, obesity and central obesity were 17.7%, 10.8% and 40.9% respectively. Whereas prevalence of undernutrition reflected by stunting and wasting were 5.9, 5.2% and 15.8% respectively. Association between household food security status and overnutrition. First, we look at the association between household food security score and BMI for age score. There was a weak inverse association was found between household food security score and BMI for age score in boys, which became insignificant after controlling for the confounding effect of daily energy consumption, level of physical activity, pubertal stage, birth rate, and age. However, there was no significant association was found in girls even after controlling for above mentioned confounding factors. Now we look at the association between household food security score and waist to height ratio. There was similar to the association found between household food security score and BMI for age score. There was a weak negative association was found in girls. In contrast, there was no significant association was found in girls. However, this association found in boys was disappeared, whereas a weak negative association was appeared in girls after controlling for daily energy consumption, level of physical activity, pubertal stage, birth rate, and age. Let's move to the discussion. The prevalence of household food insecurity of this study cohort was above the national figure and the Colombo district figure. The prevalence of overweight and obesity in this study was greater than the prevalence of overweight and obesity among 10 to 14 year adolescents in Sri Lanka, grade 7 school children in Sri Lanka, and grade 7 school children in the city of Colombo in 2017. Previous study findings in this study area are limited and inconsistent. One such study conducted in USA using 12 to 18 year adolescents found household food insecurity was associated with an increased likelihood of being overweight and having central obesity after controlling for age, ethnicity, and gender. In contrast, another study conducted in Ethiopia found household food insecurity status was not associated with adolescents' overweight or obesity, adjusting for age and gender. In conclusion, majority of adolescents aged 11 to 13 years in the city of Colombo were food secure, and prevalence of food insecurity was 39.2%, including food insecure without hunger was 26.8%, food insecure with moderate hunger was 9.7%, and food insecure with severe hunger was 2.7%. Further, prevalence of overweight, obesity, and central obesity were 17.7%, 10.8%, and 40.9% respectively. According to our study, household food security status was not associated with either overweight or obesity among 11 to 13 year adolescents in the city of Colombo, irrespective of gender. However, household food security was positively associated with central obesity among 11 to 13 year adolescent girls, but not among same age boys in the city of Colombo. Hence, overnutrition among 11 to 13 year adolescents in the city of Colombo is not a consequence of food insecurity. Therefore, we suggest further studies should be carried out using different vulnerable groups and direct measurement of adiposity. These are my references.